Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Pull List. I have a weekly edited show. It is blowing my mind. I've not been able to do this before, and now we're almost 6 weeks, I think, in on this series. I'm looking at the books that are coming out next week. Here we are on Thursday. We just got our new books, but I'm already curious about November 18th. And if you're curious about November 18th too, hang around and let's look at what's on my pull list. Whoa, this is a big week. I have 10 books, guaranteed green lights on my pickups. I have not had 10 books on my pull list in a few weeks now, maybe even a couple of months. So this is a big week for me. It's going to start with Marvel because I have a ton of Marvel and I have 0 DC books this week. So I'm sorry, DC fans. The rest is going to be over on the indie side. But let's go to Marvel first. I got 3 books in the Ten of Swords. It is getting near the end. These are going to be parts 17, 18, and 19 of the Ten of Swords, which means then we'll only have, 20, 21, and 22 left. So it is nearly over. Those of you that have been tired of hearing about it, I'm sorry, but it is nearly finished. The rest of you, it's going to get intense. Deaths, excitement. We start with X-Force, issue 14. There are some cool variants. There's a Mastrazzo variant. Those Italian artists, I can't pronounce their names, but I do love their artwork. Lots of cool covers for this run. I've loved X-Force, very action-packed espionage kind of stuff, but this focus is definitely going to be less on that and more on the battle here happening in the Ten of Swords. Next up after that is Hellions issue 6. Now there is the espionage, Mr. Sinister's evil plan to try to take over the Ten of Swords battle by stealing weapons away from the contenders on the other side. This could amount to some very entertaining stuff. There's an Inyuk Lee variant that I thought was kind of cool. And then I have to mention these Nakayama variants. These are, I'm going to move over a little bit because it's probably going to take up more space. These sideways variants that look like video games where you can see the matchups. This is hilarious, and I wish there were a ton of these, but I've only seen 2. There's this one for Hellions, which is hilarious. And then the other book this week is Cable, issue 6, and they have one as well. Cable doing a little more damage than Psylocke was. This is funny, and I love these. They're sideways variants. I don't know if they're going to be something in every shop or if you got to hunt online for them, but I saw these and I thought, you know what, I'm going to share these with my friends. There's also the Noto poster variant that I thought was really cool. Actually, Cable has the best covers of these 3 books this week. So Cable issue 6 has some pretty sweet covers that I would recommend. I'm going to be fine with any of these. More than likely, I'm going to get these cover A's. I like the Ten of Swords logo in blue with the numbers, so I know the issue, which ones to read first. So I'm going to probably get a lot of the cover A's, but man, the Nakayama variants are hilarious. So I love those video game homages. Another green light from Marvel this week is Venom issue 30. I've been enjoying this futuristic story looking ahead where we go to an alternative future and we get to see his son Dylan has become Codex, this sort of null-like character ruling over the Marvel Universe. It's a great setup for the King in Black. I think we're getting a view of what Dylan could become if Eddie doesn't rise to the occasion of parenthood. I think it's a clever idea. I'm enjoying it, and this is the final issue of the story arc. So for those of you not enjoying it, well, this is the final one, and then we'll move into the preludes probably for the King in Black here on out for 2020. The covers are pretty cool. There's a Momoko cover, and I'm not a hater of Momoko, so that's a pretty cool cover. But it's hard to hate on anything that is as stylistically cool as this Venom 3 homage. That is dope. And if I can find one of those, I'm going to try to get one. But otherwise, it doesn't really matter. I'm just looking forward to the read. Venom 30. It's been a great storyline. I've enjoyed this run, all 30 issues. So let's just see where this leads. After Ten of Swords is done, I'm all about King in Black. So that's where I'm heading next. We'll see how many of those issues I'm going to pick up. There's a ton. a lot of tie-ins. So we'll see how many I end up reading in the end. Although I will say the Absolute Carnage event was pretty solid, and the tie-ins were some of my favorite parts. So who knows what King in Black will bring. The last Marvel book I have is a yellow light. I have not read Symbiote Spider-Man, and I had some friends that said they loved it, and some that were like, they didn't care as much. But there's a Symbiote Spider-Man one-shot called King in Black. I don't know how it ties in. I don't know the significance. It's not a Donny Cates book. This is written by Peter David, and it's drawn by Greg Land. I do enjoy Greg Land's stuff. It's really cool. He's doing the interior and this cool cover. So there's some fun people involved. I'm curious about it. I'm going to skim it and take a look at it. So it'll be on my yellow light list, but if it's any good, if the artwork looks as good as the cover, I'm going to be in on this. So there's a little yellow light from Marvel there for you. And that's it. 4 green lights and 1 yellow light from Marvel. That means of my 10 books, I've got 6 comics that I am buying from indie publishers. Let's see which ones I'm getting. So I'm cheating a little bit when I say 10 books because 2 of them are the same comic. It is Die, issue number 15, coming out of Image Comics. It's the end of the Great Game story arc. So this finale, I mean, it's going to be something exciting because the build-up has been really smooth. This is a dense read. This particular story arc may be even denser than all the others. We're getting the backstory and the history of the game. I have a feeling it's going to be a game changer, if you will. This issue looks like it's going to force the heroes to face the reality of what this game means and how they could possibly really win or lose it. So I'm buying both covers. There's a Bill Sienkiewicz cover. I mean, how do you say no to that? He's done another one, I think, before for this run. So I'm going to grab that variant. And then probably from here on out, I'll probably get single covers. I'll just pick my favorite one of the 2. But the variants and the cover A's for this whole run have been stellar. I'm fairly certain they'll take a break after issue 15 because that's what they did after the previous arc. But we'll see how soon we get issue 16 of this run. I've just been enjoying Die all the way along, so I've never put the brakes on this story at all. And that's 2 covers, 2 books that I'm buying from Image. Now let's jump over to Boom Studios because I got 2 books from Boom Studios that I'm picking up as well. We got Once in Future issue 13, which is it's been a great read. I've been really enjoying the sort of Simon Pegg, Nick Frost comedy mixed with British literature. I've been really enjoying this Beowulf and Grendel storyline they've been doing. Grendel attacked the old folks' home. Very exciting. And now I think we're going to get more of the Lady in the Lake and the sword. Here on the cover B, I'm like, damn, that is a cool cover. The creepiness of the Lady in the Lake and the glowing sword. If I can find that, sorry, it's over here. I still messed that up. If I can get this cover, I'm going to get it. I think it's a really cool piece of art, and I'm looking forward to reading more Once in Future. The other book is, of course, Something's Killing the Children. It's been great as well. More classic horror than Once in Future is. This particular story arc has been dramatic with the Slaughter family and the people who are behind hunting down these monsters. They've also done some cool things with her little octopus toy and how the other characters have toys, and they seem to be embedded with the spirit of the monsters that they've killed. Very interesting. There are some cool variants for this issue. In particular, I wanted to mention I don't usually show you blanks, but this is a bloody blank variant, which I thought was kind of cool. They've just done some really kind of fun stylistic things. There's just a ton of cool art, and I love how they bring in artists like Momoko. She's got one this week, I believe. Some cool artists come in to do their variants for this series. I'm going to be reading it for sure. I hope you're enjoying Something's Killing the Children as well. All right, so that puts me at 8 comic books that I'm picking up. What are the last 2? Well, I'm test driving a new IDW book. IDW can sometimes be inconsistent, so I'm hoping this book drops on schedule. This is called Sea of Sorrows, issue number 1. It's from the team that did Road of Bones. And my buddy Just a Rican, Rod from Just a Rican and his comics, Big Road of Bones fan. I missed the boat on that one, but I'm going to try to be up on this one. Sea of Sorrows focuses on the end of World War II, I believe, and some soldiers who come across the chance to steal from a ship at the bottom of the ocean. A warship that might have gold at the bottom of the ocean. And stealing it leads to some distrust and maybe some possible backstabbing among the group. But it gets worse when they find something supernatural down there at the bottom of the ocean. This sounds like a fun mix of a lot of different genres. Something that could be a really fun diving in point for a book that's a little horror, a little heist, crime, and a little history. So I'm looking forward to trying that one out. I don't know the team beyond Road of Bones, but it does sound like a great, cool book to pick up. Hopefully it drops on time. Fingers crossed. The other indie book is an issue number 2. I liked We Live a bunch, and it sounds like you in the comics community enjoyed it as well. I'm looking forward to issue 2 dropping this week. So this is a futuristic story looking at an Earth that's really losing the chance to be habitable anymore. Some aliens come and they're willing to take a few select citizens with them to a new life. So people are trying to get to these pickup points, but of course traveling across this current Earth is very dangerous. And so these children are being escorted to these pickup points, and the story involves that journey. So it could be a very fun read. I liked issue 1 a bunch. It set up a lot of things. I'm just curious to see how they build on that issue number 1. So issue 2 of We Live is definitely on the pickup list. So that is it for my guaranteed green light indies. I have one yellow light indie book for you to recommend. This is a Scout comic book, issue number 1 of Frank at Home on the Farm, which sounds very chill and relaxed, but it's not. This seems to have a Jacob's Ladder kind of a feel to it, a slight horror history thing. We have a soldier returning from World War I to his home, only to find that all of his family is gone. The house is somewhat abandoned, but the animals are all there, and there is something sort of sinister and mysterious going on. And is it all in this character's head, or is it really happening? That's the mystery of Frank at Home on the Farm, issue number 1. I don't know anything about the team, but this is a Scout Comics number 1. And if I can find a copy, I'm going to flip through it. My LCS doesn't always get the Scout Comics or the Vault Comics, so hopefully they get a copy of this one and I can peruse it a little bit and see if it's worth getting. But it's a yellow light for right now. I love the concept, and if the art is as good as the concept, I think it's going to be a book that could be a lot of fun. So that's it for me. 10, count them, 10 green light books that I'll be buying, 2 yellow light books, and who knows what all else that I'll find when I go to the shop. As always, please leave me a comment. The comments are easily the best part about this. You have all been so cool about telling me what you're picking up and why certain books should be added to my pull list and why you dropped some of the books that I'm picking up, because I love to hear your opinions. I'll be back here again next Thursday as part of the tag team with my boy Just a Rican and his comics, and maybe some other friends joining that tag team, so you can jump from one show to the next here on Thursday evenings. Thanks, everybody, and I'll hope to see you back here for another pull list.